Hey guys, welcome back. This is Lucid, and yes, we have a new episode for you. It is a wild and crazy episode though, because the turn that I showed you is actually very little like the turn I actually submitted. Bum bum bum. Now, now one question you might have is, well, Lucid, what is different about it? And I'll just let you take a look at... I'll let the turn file speak for itself. See if you notice here what's different. We attacked the shit out of Manderbax. Manderby-Max. Now, and I did not break my nap with him. So, what happened was he got attacked by Therados, and then in conjunction with getting attacked by, What's here, or not attacked really, but because What's hasn't done that much, but he's been kind of fighting with Otheris and kind of losing, and then he's getting attacked by What's from this flank, and now Therados is kind of picking at him from this direction. I mean, honestly, he's not going to be able to do much if these guys are all up in here. So, what he did was he said, okay, if it's going to be a 3v1, I'm going to fall. And I release all of my allies, aka me, from any naps they have. And then I talked with him privately, and he was like, yeah, I think I'm fucked, just attack me. And so that is kind of interesting because, well, one, he never knew, I don't think, that I probably was going to backstab him, I guess. I hate saying that, but that's what it was. Let's be clear about it. That's what it was. I was doing it as honorably as I knew how, paying him for the capital, but a backstab is a backstab. And I was letting Otheris do a lot of the heavy lifting, which I certainly was okay with. So, yeah. Let's take a look at this. This is going to be the coolest battle, actually, up here between Otheris. And I was asking him where I should do my arcane probing, because I wanted to catch some of his thugs in action. And he's got a Colossi Storm Captain, and then a Bride in Waiting. And they have zapped in here. Brides in Waiting, by the way, are the shit. Fire Air is a good cross path. Fly in, do fire elementals? Yeah. But in this case, it's going to be air elementals. And this is the guy who won the tournament. So he has heroic endurance, which is nice. Air, which is going to be good if he does mirror image, which honestly, if he's thinking about counter thugs coming in, like, because they have been coming in, he should do mirror image. But misform, which is what like a Melkort with air would typically do, is going to be completely not helpful. He could also do charged body and resist lightning and that sort of thing would be possibly helpful. But it may expend itself on the air elementals. I think honestly mirror image is just the best thing, but I don't know how that's going to interact with trample from air elementals. So we'll see what actually happens. So we'll look at the buff script for this guy, and we'll read it for these. So these guys are summoning air elementals. Okay, and he casts misform. This guy casts mirror image. But Pumariel is who we're looking at for what the Melkort's casting. Okay, and he does do mirror image, but afterwards. Okay, it doesn't look like it's gonna go off. And now Home Slice is running with quickness across the field. The Melkort is fighting the air elementals. Now, he has got a limp. And he's taken a little bit of damage from them. Honestly, it takes more air elementals in this to kill a Melkort. And it appears that Mistform was working. Until he does not have enough shock resistance. If he got his Bless off, I think he would have enough shock resistance. But now these guys are actually shocking the shit out of him. Which... now this guy, if we look at the stat line, he's 20 on attacks and he's got this is the gear I forged him. And then, which incidentally is going to be very good against Melkorts, but not terribly good against Scrotty packed in with undead. And actually not even that good against Scotty since I'm not relying abundantly on is this typeless? Oh no, it's not. Both piercing. But yeah, Scotty don't overly rely on... Okay, yeah, and he just got absolutely murdered. Yeah, he got hit in the arm with the eye catcher for 18 points. It doesn't say an eye got scooped out. But you can see that he got repelled the first round of attacks. But then, yeah, the air elemental hit him, then he hit him in the leg with the dusk dagger. And then this, that did, yeah, a fair amount of damage. So anyway, this guy got wrecked. I don't know if they got the Champions Gladius. That would be kind of cool. So they have accomplished their mission here. We site search for a ton of stuff, and we find absolutely nothing. For the bajillionth turn in a row. And while we're on the subject of luck, we get this, which is a non-event. We get a sack of heretics popping up again in my province with a well of pestilence, so I have to move people in here to patrol these fuckers out. And I lose 2 Dominion. I swear to God. And this should be luck 3 now. Isn't this province luck 3? I mean, I don't fucking understand the game. I've had the worst RNG with luck. It is literally tilting me to pieces. And I've got a mountain range, so I can't move there in 1 turn. And then here, we have an event where I have 1,600 people left, and unrest go up by 21. What the fuck is going on with this game? Now, this doesn't have my Dominion, so I guess I can't bitch, but anyway. Most of my provinces now have my Dominion. Not all, but... And not even most all, but most. And I'm still getting... And most of my neighbors, okay, not these guys, but a lot of my neighbors have luck. So, like, well, I know Nesmore took luck, so down here, and I think there was luck on this border, wasn't there? Yeah, these guys took luck, so anyway. Now for the attacks, we have a few fire off here. We kill these people, then Othyrus here gets all of his shamans murdered. This actually is a pretty bad trade for him. I think he just blows up all these guys as communion slaves. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't even have regen on them, so they're just gonna pop and die. So that's actually kind of poorly done. He totally could have just put regen on them and they probably would have lived. And that's expensive. That's like 500 bucks down the tube. And this is overkill. I mean, any of these would have killed it, but I guess he was hunting for an army. And if he was hunting for an army, he might could have justified that. Down here, we bump into PD. Not really worth watching. This one, I think, was where we sent our Scrotty. It's kind of fun watching him go in. It's a bunch of barbs. Looking back on it, I probably should have done Liquid Body. You know, reduce affliction chance, because I'm actually going to get an affliction here. Yeah, I got Battle Fright. Yeah, Liquid Body really reduces your affliction chance, because it's going to reduce the damage you take, which obviously is going to lower chance of getting an affliction, and then any damage you take is going to have a lower chance of causing an affliction, so it's pretty damn good for that. I can't remember why oh, maybe I didn't have it researched at the time. I think that would be the reason. Yeah, it's Alt 4. That would explain it. Now... there's a big army here. We're gonna move here, and I'm not really going to care where Mander B Max moves, because... yeah, we're gonna come in guns blazing. I'm bringing mages this time. And I might actually bring... I think I might bring 2. I might bring another communion leader. Skeletal body. And I think that should do it. And then I think you're just going to spam out Horde of Skeletons, like so. And I guess we'll do that now. I need to script these guys. So I think okay, what are we thinking? There may be archers. There could be sages. I'll probably send Mandar and tell him I'm going on this so he can pull the sages out if he wants to. I mean, or he can fight me. I don't think he has anything that's gonna do much. But I think he's actually wanting to pull everything out and fight the people who ganged up on him while I take his stuff, which isn't really fair exactly, but I mean, he said, I don't know. I mean, it's weird, but I'm definitely okay to roll with that. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So we're gonna do... Fortunately, God, who... Oh, it has to be... Wait, don't I have one of you with it? Oh no, it's only her. Okay, I don't have anybody with high enough leadership to put undead in a formation. So what that means in practice is that we have to put them in small groups here. And you don't want to... If you're going to split them up, you get morale penalties, which obviously the undead don't care about. But I don't want to intermix them on the same leader with living troops then. So we can do something like this. Okay, we'll just pop y'all all along here. And then we'll take you guys, and we'll put you here. We'll do attack closest on you. We'll have just a big body of chaff here in the middle. With these guys just pouring down shots. And then you guys will have split in 2 groups, and you'll basically be holding attack rear. And we'll have y'all over here. And then we'll have you guys here in the middle, and y'all will be on attack closest too. Now, where is... This guy's probably going to peel out. He's going to donate his army to one of them. Oh wait, you have... Oh, but she has Solus, who can't go in formation anyway. So yeah, we'll reorganize who's on who when everybody gets here, but this should definitely be a one-turn pop. So we'll take this, and then here's his capital, and my plan is to get all of this, and maybe Othyrus gets this, but who gets his capital is going to be contentious. Now, he's going to want it, because he's basically fought the war, and I'm just coming in and vulturing. And if I were him, I would want it too. The problem I think he's going to face is that militarily, I think I'm a lot stronger than him. But anyway, one way is I could just not communicate with him and then take it. Like, if we're talking about what is fair, so we're gonna actually have to think about it, because I think we're gonna negotiate. What's probably gonna happen is I'm probably gonna give it to him, but then I'm gonna ask for, like, these. And that is, I think, what's gonna happen. Because... I think if I weigh it, I don't really want to attack him. I mean, I'm not actually opposed to launching an invasion this way, because I don't think it's going to open up many new avenues. Like, it's not going to give me too many more neighbors to attack me. Like, if I push down this way, it's going to open up a bigger border. Well, actually not. I guess both these ways I would be attacking into one neighbor, and it's not going to expose me to new neighbors. But like, if I go this way or this way, I'm going to get a new neighbor with Therados, which I don't really want. So yeah. Now, one of the things you may have noticed is that this game has had more dog piles than most games. Like, first, well, okay, so first, Nasmor and like 3 other people, and I think Nasmor largely organized it, but I could be wrong. They organized a dog pile, I think on Magheim. And so What's and Nasmor, and then someone else, they all attacked Magheim. Now, almost immediately as that happened, Manderby Max and I, we started organizing a dog pile on Nasmor. Or not dog pile, but it was just us. We were 2v1ing him. And 2v1 is different than a 3v1. It is very, very, very hard to resist a 3v1. But if you kind of outplay your opponent, a lot of times you can win a 2v1. Like it's possible. But a 3v1, it's getting crippling at that point a lot of times. Especially like if nations are similar size, you know, early war after expansion. It's almost impossible, really. Like if you get 3v1s, you're kind of fucked. Well, Nasmor kind of brought it on himself after this point, because he announces in all chat like he's going to lose versus the 2 of us, which I think if you're playing Dominions, you need to have a strategy too for like if you get 2v1. It's not like you're going to be guaranteed to win, but it shouldn't be auto lose, you know? Like you should have enough strength where it's not auto lose, because like using PD well in appropriate places when you have a reliable move, or doing good raiding, or like there's several different avenues where you can actually survive okay in a 2v1 until the diplomatic situation changes and somebody attacks one of your opponents. But he didn't. He was like, I'm gonna lose. And so then, because he said that in all chat, then Basen G's like, okay, well, I'm gonna attack you. And then he started complaining about getting 3v1'd. And it's like, dude, well, I mean, it was a 2v1, and then you announce in all chat that you're gonna lose. And so, like, obviously people are gonna attack you after that. Which was upsetting to me, because I wanted all this shit. So, thanks. But then, Manderby Max was getting, Fadod, and I don't know the other one. It may have been the Alliance, but I'm not sure of the other one. I know it was Fadod and somebody else. In on a 3v1 against Otheris. Well, Otheris diploed his way out, got the other 2 people to not attack him, and then was organizing a 4v1 on Manderby Max. So, and I was kind of the 4th wheel. I was the last one to this show. And for me, it really felt like betraying him, because we had such a good alliance. Like, we were coordinating very well, we were having fun talking. It was a productive and fun kind of, you know, relationship or alliance or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah. Anyway. That is what happened. Now, one question you may ask is, why has it been so common in this game? And I want to spend a little time this episode talking about it. And I think the main thing is, so coincidentally enough, Maxverni and I, we were talking about, I guess Manderbags, we were talking about dog piles and how they're kind of happening this game. And this was before he got dogpiled. And he was like telling me that he was off fighting this other war 3v1. And I was like, you know, every time I've been, and this is true, every time I've tried to like, I myself have gone out and really tried to organize 3v1s to get like efficient wars out of, almost every time it's come back to bite me in the ass, and I've gotten 3v1'd or something like that. And I was like, I can't explain it, because like logically, organizing a 3v1 would be a good thing to do. You know, like it's a very low risk engagement. You're probably not going to lose, yada, 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 yada. But every single time it comes back to bite me in the ass. But I can't figure out why. And he's like, well, maybe, I don't know. It's hard to say with Dominions. And that's kind of where we left it. Well, turns out he organizes a 3v1, gets his ass kind of kicked by getting a dog pile. Like, he's down to almost nothing already. He's probably at like 6 provinces. So, and he doesn't know it. And in fact, if he's watching, I'm sorry, bud, because I never told you I was going to backstab you. And I did want to leave you with the idea that that we would be friends for forever, but I guess it didn't play out that way. So, yeah. The reason that I think it happens is that if, and this is my thinking on it, and I could be wrong, but this is after some careful reflection. The reason is that if you're looking for a 3v1, there's a good chance that you don't feel very comfortable having a decisive fight 1v1. It's possible. You know, like, let's say you're doing something greedy, like you're making a bunch of mages and not a lot of army, so you're gonna be good in the mid game. But the cost of that normally is you remain small, but you're like, no. I want to be greedy and I want to be kind of big, so I'm gonna organize 3v1s, and I'm gonna walk around kind of bumping people. And taking their stuff, and I'm gonna get the best of both worlds. And I think this is where, the problem lies if you're organizing a 3v1. Which, if you're doing a 3v1 and you're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, like if I took, imagine I had all my guys researching and I didn't make undead and, well, I'm not really making many troops anymore, but I took the troops that I had, pulled them all down here and was like, we're gonna do a 3v1 on Manderby Max. And I pulled them down here. And this border was just, you know, like there were 40 troops up here and like 40 troops over here, and then a few mages. And I was 3v1ing Manderby Max. Well, what is he gonna do? He's gonna reach out and say, guys, help, I'm getting attacked. Will you attack Lucid? Will you attack Lucid? He would do this to both of them. And they're gonna look at the border, and they're gonna be like, oh, sure, this looks like a good way for me to make some money. And then they're gonna attack me. It's really that simple. Like, the fact that I'm not getting dogpiled isn't really my careful diplo, though I do have naps with my neighbors, but like that's not terribly hard to do. The reason that I'm not getting like dogpiled is because nobody wants to be the one that's gonna have to fight this. Nobody wants to have Scrotty raiding them, or to have armies wiped out by Scrotty. Like, people don't want to fight this. And I'm not big enough to have like a legitimate coalition. I think the difference between a 3v1 and a coalition, like a 3v1 is a greedy strategy. A 3v1 is like saying, I don't have an army big enough to conquer you by myself efficiently, so I'm going to bring other people in on the deal so that you lose without me being stronger than you. Right? A coalition is very, very different. A coalition is like, look, there's a painful thing we have to do. None of us can do it alone, but together we're going to do it. In general, in the beginning of the game, you want to avoid coalition type scenarios. Like, you don't want to be the one. That's like kind of the problem with if there's an Airmore or Lemuria in your game where you need to coalition them early. Like, you don't want to do that. In the early game, you want to find easy neighbors who you have a good matchup against and eat them. You know, either in a 2v1 or a 1v1, or sometimes a 3v1. So that's kind of the, I think that's my reflecting on it, is that are 3v1s inherently bad? Or, I mean, they're sort of a not fun mechanic. I do kind of try to avoid it. Like, I was more excited about 2v1ing Manderby Max with Wutz. But I'm less excited about it now. And maybe I'll go back to not using their names. I kind of prefer, so I was looking forward to 2v1ing Maxverni with using, United Nations Junior, but anyway, it doesn't appear that is how it's going to roll. So, yeah, let's finish this turn. I think I've got everybody moves. Well, okay, no, we're not completely done with that discussion. What are the final takeaways? Final takeaways are, it's just basic. It's if you are scary to people on your border, like, don't leave undefended borders, right? And if you do too many troops on a border, people are going to think they're going to get attacked, and then they're not going to get into other wars because they're too worried about you attacking them. Like, me having this army here, I have basically guaranteed that Yominam is not going to attack anybody else. Because he's terrified that I'm going to fucking roll this army up to his capital. It's just how it is. It is the actual truth of the matter. So, yeah. What else? God, I would really like to put Eternal Pyre up. Yeah. But, okay, no, there's final thought, too. Not on, I think we've covered the general stuff, but on this situation with Maxverni, what he did and why it was so greedy, like, what we're seeing here is greed getting punished, too, is he had this war with Nazmor. It went pretty well, but he lost a huge portion of his cap-only sacreds, which, like, Van Heers with Divine Blessing on them and critical numbers with the kind of bless he had are just terrifying. Just terrifying. There's very few things that are going to be able to deal with, you know, 100 Van Heers with that bless on them in a line formation. They're just going to chew up whatever you send at them, unless it's a buffed up Scratty. But anyway, yeah, they're really scary. So when he lost a bunch of them here, he actually wasn't terribly well set up for his next war. But he's like, oh, I can do this war because it'll be a 3v1. Right, so that's the greed creeping in. Whereas I was like, well, like I could attack somebody and win, but there's a good chance I'll get backstabbed if I move out and attack somebody, so let's build up, let's see who attacks me, and let's be ready for war. You know, like, let's get skeleton infrastructure up, let's do all this stuff. And, like, sure, I'll come in, but I'm not going to be leading the charge, and I'm going to definitely have protection on my other border. So, that was kind of it. Okay, that's the final thoughts on that part of diplomacy. So anyway, coming in. We've got a big group of goons rolling up in here. We're going to be doing Power of the Sepulchre, Divine Blessing, Skelly Spam, and yeah, I think this will be fine. We'll one turn crack it. We'll go inside. We potentially could actually move on their cap. But I'm not terribly sure. We have the Inner Throne, so we need to claim it, and fort it and all of that jazz. But having the Inner Throne is going to be really nice because it's going to bump up my order by 1, because right now we're order 0, but it'll take me to order 1, which I think is a good thing. We are also getting close to the point where I want to do a temple. Oh no, I have a temple. Where I want to start preaching. We're not at that point yet, but we're close. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let the temple get it down to 3. Once we're at 3, it's probably gonna be worth it for me to preach. I'm not making alquils anymore either, which kind of sucks. I think I actually need to turn it back on. I got, through conquering, let's look at what we got. Well, we got the Inner Throne, which is going to give me earth and blood. Here, I think we got one of the sites we got had fire too, which was really, really good for us. God, we need things like this. Did I only have 3? I thought I had 4. I did have 4. 1, 2, 3, oh, 4. Then we got this one, which is nature 2. So our nature income is actually pretty huge. When our god comes up, we are definitely contenders for... unfortunately, we're nature 4 on our god. So we're going to have to get a Moonvine bracelet. Which I can make, I just have to get construction 6. So I think what we're going to do, because this is going to be a greedy move, is we're going to bump enchantment 7. And we're going to go construction 6, because construction 6 is going to give me access to Mother Oak. And I think we're going to make a play for it. If for no other reason than to deny, like, unimaginable from it. But I'm not sure I have enough nature. How much like, how long would this be? This was going to be like 3 turns. 5 turns. Probably like 5 turns away, 6 turns away. If I don't spend a ton of nature, and I just make like Boots of the Messenger, I'm making 1 more Ring of Regen. Or am I doing it this turn? Where are you? I think you're here. Yeah, she's making a Ring of Regen. I mean, she can almost cast it. Yeah, we're still gonna need a Moonvine Bracelet. So, anyway. But maybe... Is 2 Rings of Regen enough? Hey, where are you going, buddy? You're going here? Where are we going? Alright. Yeah. I think we're gonna just do these. And then if we're doing this, I can do it with somebody cheaper, because she's a good researcher. Yeah. So here's a province where I have a bunch of heretics preaching again, which, you know, is delightful. So he's gonna have to move his ass down here. I honestly can't believe this shit. You can't make this up. I would like to patrol and get them out, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. We're upgrading this fort finally, and we're building a lab here, which means I can start doing thaumaturgs. Here we are almost done too, which, you know, in theory means I should build a temple, but I think we're gonna hang tight. We've got our Holy 3 marching his way over there. He's gonna be able to make it in this turn, thanks to the boots. And then he will claim this, and then he is going to march south and claim this. And then we're going to have 3 little thrones and be in a nice little situation. And I think I'm kind of okay with this army here. I might... Yeah, I don't know. One problem is these guys are all reanimating without their little things, so... Without Amulets of the Dead. So I kind of need to build a lab and a temple here. So that'll probably go up next turn. Because otherwise... We're done with infrastructure. We've got a lab and a temple built here, so this witch is coming out. She can start healing these diseases. And I'm going to have more diseases every year, so better to go ahead and get that taken care of. And especially with fighting Satis. Well, potentially fighting Satis. So anyway, this is going to be the main crux of what's going on. It's getting here. The other thing is we've now got way more Firebird casters. We're up to 6. We're making another guy here. This guy will pop out this turn, so he'll be there in next turn. And then we'll be up to 7, and then very shortly... Well, actually, I guess the turn he moves, and by the time he gets there, this guy will be out. So we'll be at 8. And 8 is where we'll start having good things happen. Because like right now we have 17, and then Bringer Fortune at 17 times 2. So we've got like a 35%. So a third of the turns we're going to get a good event in our capital from these guys. But it's going to be going up pretty fast because, like, yeah, we're going to be getting... Yeah, basically it's going to be that number, 17, is going to be doubling every 3 turns right now. And it's going to be, or not doubling like exponentially, but like we're going to be getting another 17 every 3 turns. And that number is going to, or another 18 every 3 turns. So that number is going to be going up as we get more casters. And we have gotten a nice bit of our fire income up, so we can now support 4 permanently. The rest we have to trade for. But right now we're supporting 4 out of 6. And we still have some fire left to site search in our lands. So hopefully that still kind of works out. We're site searching here, you know, in a cave province is pretty good. And then we theoretically can come back and site search for fire 3, though we're going to have to do it by getting a fire 3. So like with items. Because I don't really want to risk... Or I don't want to spend fire gems, because a fire gem could be a phoenix, or a firebird. Now the other risky thing is of course that we bump as we move along here. Yeah. But... yeah, I do think... because we'll be able to one-turn pop his cap. His cap's not going to have any more fortification than this. And if he has a Melkort inside, we'll be able to kill a Melkort or 2. So anyway, that will be just fine and dandy. And I think that's it for this turn, but it's kind of been an interesting one. And I can't say I feel clean. I definitely feel dirty. And part of the dirty is just the deception that Maxverni, as it turns out, we'll never have to find out until now when you're watching this video. Or really, it would have been a few episodes before that that I probably was going to betray you in a way. But sorry, bud. All right. So I think that is it. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Take care.